Hey everybody, how you doing? This is Madhvi from TaroticallySpeaking.com, and today I'm gonna do a flip through slash slight review of, well, clearly you can see the Starchild Tarot, and this is the second edition, I believe, the one they've called Akashic. All right. Now the thing is, and before I start talking, I would like to apologize for the roughness in my voice. I've got the cold that's been going on. It is February, folks. We had snow followed by freezing rain. So before it became really crazy, I even went and shoveled the snow. I mean, there's a lot you can do when you're having painkillers. Let me just say that out loud. Tylenol is your best friend. Anyways, the point I'm trying to make is I was, I discovered the Starchild Tarot as I discovered many decks, of late, as I keep discovering them on Instagram. And I was like, wow, this one's like way out there, and I totally want it. It's got this whole, we are made of stars kind of vibe. It's like, it's you'll see what I'm talking about when I do the flip through. But then I went and I hunted around and I discovered that this deck was sadly out of print. So I was like, oh man, this is what happens. You have these indie decks, and they have, I guess, a limited run publishing cycle. And I'm like, okay, you know what? If it's meant to be, it will come to me. And guess what? On Instagram one day, I saw someone post a picture of some of the cards as saying that, oh, you know what? The new edition is available on the website. So I was like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. And so of course I went there, I saw the price and everything, and I was like, okay. And I came back to my my thing, and I did my, fiddled around with some numbers, account stuff, budgets. And then I was like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna buy this. So I ended up ordering. And if you guys are following me on Instagram or are in my Facebook group, you guys will probably have seen me do my card a day readings with this deck. So I finally got this deck. So this deck comes with a book, and I'm gonna quickly show you what this book is all about before we go into the flip through, and this is the image of the Fool card of this deck. It's beautiful. And this is how the book is on the inside. It's lovely. It's written and designed by Danielle Noel, who is also the creator of this deck. And she, in the initial, if you see the table of contents, you see all kinds of stuff she talks about in the book, right? Let me just quickly. And the paper quality is really good. The book paper quality is really good. So there's, she does talk about what the Akashic means. That's me putting. I like to put stickers and stuff and post-its and whatever in my books because, it makes it so interesting. Anyway, the point is, she talks about the word Akashic. This deck, this is the second edition. So this one's called the Akashic version, and there are a few differences between this and the earlier one. So if you want, I can link another video that I didn't make because I don't have the earlier version. Someone else made that video. I'll find it, and in that video excuse me, in that video she's like kind of gone through the whole deck, card by card. So we see some cards are different, some cards are same, many cards are same, and so and the color schemes are a little changing, different. So you can see, if you're keen, you can totally go through that. I'll link the video in the description stuff of this video. Yeah, your higher self, healing with the tarot, cleansing your cards, shuffling, asking the cards, reverse cards, and yeah, that's the best part. We'll get there. She taught additional guidance, spreads, keeping a journal, and about star seeds, because this one is called the Starchild Tarot. So she talks about what star seeds are all about. And she sort of gives a little bit of a, journal, a template that you can use for recording your spreads. And yeah, so this is, this is kind of, not a complaint, but this I've seen happen in a couple of books, tarot deck, books that accompany decks, that you have the spread section right before you get into the meanings of the cards. And well, I would say this deck is not necessarily for a beginner, but should a beginner choose to buy this deck, it can serve the beginner. The beginner can get into it if you're in with that whole stars kind of theme. But so putting the spreads before the card meanings can, I don't know how it can be a little counterproductive. Still, I'm not complaining. We have the past, present, future, the Celtic cross, but then we have the star seed spread and the Akashic spread, and it's pretty interesting. And yeah, the Metatron spreads, that's the this, I think, is called the Metatron's cube, and you use that as a reference point for the spread. Then we have she talks about the tarot, the cards, the structure of the deck, and so forth, the major, minors. And she also goes into the suits. So we have the suits are, except for the pentacles, which are called crystals in this deck. The other suits have the same name: swords, wands, cups. Pentacles become crystals here. And court cards are your standard page, knight, queen, king. So nothing different there. And she talks about each suit and how the court cards for those suits could be the personalities of each: wands, for cups, swords, and crystals. And a little bit more about the crystals. And the chakras and the gemstones and the guide symbols, because she does go into the chakra system here. So the reason all this explanation has been given over here is because later, here we go, in the major arcana, she, for each major arcana, she's talked about which chakra it is all about, which gemstone can be used to activate that chakra, the astrological and the planetary sort of connections, symbols, and the various guides that you can use to, connect with this deck. And as you can see, there's a little image here of the card, the basic message of that card, and and additional meanings or keywords, and my favorite part, reverse meanings. I mean, it's not like I love reverse cards, but some cards are good when they're reversed, are they not? Anyway, the point is, this book already talks about reverse meanings. So yay, like big thumbs up from my side, because very rarely books do talk about it, but when they do, I'm like, I like it. And so she goes on in this way for each of the strength is number 11 in this one, and so I guess justice will be number 8. And this is what happens with the major arcana. So there's an extra card. The world card is called the universe card, but after that we also get a card number 22 called the Akashic records. All right, so it's up to you. You can leave it or you can add it into your reading. It's totally your call. Just go with it. Sometimes I'm not comfortable using the extra card. Sometimes I'm like, okay, let's leave it in. So you can't you can't just set a rule. And this is what I found in the tarot, is that every time you set a rule for yourself, your inner self will come by and say, no, let's not do that anymore. So I just go with the flow. Every time I do a reading, I just ask myself, do I want it? If the the voice from my heart is like, yeah, sure, go for it, I just keep that card in, and that's that. Anyway, so this is your minor arcana, you have the card image, the message, which is also the upright meaning, the additional meaning, and the reverse meaning. That's it. No gemstone chakra thing in this one, which is okay. And so yeah, it includes the quote cards. This quote card section is not separate. And so we go wands, cups, swords, and crystals. And finally, in the end, hold on. I'm terribly sorry about my coughing noise. I am moving away from the camera when I do that. Right. Here we go. I like what she has done. Like in each of the cards, there's a model that she has used, right? There, not just the people cards, the regular cards. Hang on. So like here, there is someone on. Oh, sorry, there's someone in here. She's used a lot of models and stuff in her card images, and here she has listed out who the models were, and some, occasionally, or I think more or less, she has their contact websites and stuff over there. So I like that. That's really very, very nice of her. That's like totally giving credit and stuff. I like it. Right? So she has listed it out at the end. And a final thank you and about Danielle. So she's, Danielle Noel is a visual artist, writer, and designer from Vancouver Island, British Columbia. And that's true. This deck came all the way from Canada. And she's been reading the tarot for more than 18 years. Wow. And has been dreaming of creating a deck of her own for as long as she can remember. Danielle's attraction to the esoteric and magical qualities found in nature is translated into her art, where her pieces represent a bridge between this world and those of the imagination. Wow. So anyway, the point is, and here are her contact details and everything, and the website, starchildtarot.com. I believe she's also coming up with another deck called the Moonchild Tarot. So yeah, I'm already budgeting for that one. So see, somewhere something incredible is waiting to be known. See? Anyway, so here's the deck. The box. It comes in a nice, sturdy box. This is the back side of it, or the underside of it. And check it out. I think this is gold foil. It's nice. And since this is the second one, it says Akashic over here. And it's got this thing. I like it. See, when decks come in boxes, I like when they have a space like that which allows you to sort of hold it, because otherwise it becomes so hard to just remove the cover. So here we go. Cover comes off, and look at that. Look at that. We are all stardust. This is something I totally believe in, and I don't know. The first time I encountered this phrase was when I was a kid, and I think I was not necessarily reading Arthur C. Clarke's the 2010 or some trilogy. Like, he's got this whole series going on. But yeah, I think my mother was reading the book, and I read this phrase on the back blurb of that book, and I was like, yeah, man, that is so true. So this phrase has kind of stuck with me since then. We are all made of stardust. Okay, so this is the inside of the box, which is amazing because, wow. And these are the cards. And check out the inside of this box as well. There's this design in there. And now these cards. These are your standard size cards, I would say tarot size cards. If you notice, there is a bit of golden sort of like a gilded edge, but this is matte. This is not shiny. So I think that's kind of very special. I like it. It's interesting. It's not matte. I mean, sorry, it's not shiny, it's matte. So, you know, and even the cards, they are nice and thick, but not too thick or not too thin. So they really shuffle really well. I mean, when I do the readings every day, they shuffle really well. And okay, so I think I've talked enough. And now I'm gonna just go do my I'm gonna move the camera so you get a closer view, and we're gonna do a flip through, and I will keep my talking to a minimum. So and maybe put some nice music when I edit, background music. Nice background music. So I guess after all the talking, you can totally enjoy the flip through. And let's begin this flip through. Fool card is called Starseed. The Magician. The High Priest. God. Okay, I don't think I can sit silent for long. Justice. Notice there's a lot of sacred geometry, drawing sort of, in the image. If you just notice very closely, you will notice that in many of the drawings. Oh, and yes, I forgot. Let's take a moment to appreciate the card back, because it is totally reversible, right? I love it when this happens with text. Okay. And I love the whole theme. It's like, these are people, going around, they with all the planets and the moons and whatever around. It's like totally sci-fi and fantasy and spirituality kind of all intertwined and stuff. It's I don't know, it's got that whole mystical, magical vibe to it. I love it. I absolutely adore it. The Hangman card. This is actually the Hangman card, but it's called Perspective. Now, there are some changes from your standard or the norm, but I like it. I'm not complaining. And this, just like take a moment to appreciate this card, okay? Because this is the card that actually pushed it for me, and I was like, I got to buy this. I was like, I want to buy this because I fell in love with this card. I know this is your standard death card, or as it is called in this one, the transformation card, but I don't know, something about this image that just called out to me in a very visceral sort of way, and I was like, I gotta have this. So I bought it. Temperance. sometimes the cards, they do tend to stick to each other. I guess the more I practice, the more I do readings with it, it'll so the devil card is called oppression, which is kind of okay, I guess. This tower has such a mysterious vibe to it, doesn't it? Make sure. Yeah, okay. A star card. Actually, star card is associated with Aquarius, which is usually February. So since I'm doing all theme-based stuff these days, I was like, I was actually going to do a different deck flip through, but then I got this deck and I was like, I want to do the deck flip through for this one. And then I was like, okay, the deck is called Starchild Tarot. So star is all about Aquarius, and Aquarius is usually in February. So this is totally within the theme. So this is how your mind can come up with stuff just so you can do what you really want to do, right? But I'm not complaining. I don't think you guys are complaining either, huh? Love this moon card though. Wow. Oh, these are the phases of the moon. See? Lovely. Ooh. And judgment is awakening. The universe. I can see sacred geometry. Pyramid thing. And here we have this one. Akashic records. It's very interesting. Every mythological system that I've kind of looked at talks about this kind of a thing where there are records, essentially, specific books, records where all your deeds have been sort of recorded. Even in the Hindu myth, there is this. There is the whole thing. Western myth has it, Greek myth, Egyptian myth. Across the board, it's very interesting, you guys. If you ever really get into the whole myth thing, and you want to study the whole impact of it, I would suggest reading up on Joseph Campbell, because wow, I know I discovered him many years ago, and mind blown, right? I mean, I used to think that I stumbled onto something when I realized, all myths across the board have so many similar themes and stuff, and I'm like, that's so much amazing. Sorry about that. Some of the times I have these are the spam callers who want to give me loans and tell me that my car insurance is suddenly not valid anymore and all nonsense. Anyway, what I was saying was Joseph Campbell. I back in the day when I was really reading up on myths and stuff, I came to realize that across the board various myths have so many recurring themes. And I was like, man, this is something. Like, I thought that I'd stumbled onto some groundbreaking, revolutionary concept. And then I discovered Joseph Campbell, who had, I guess, 50, 70 years ago, or more or less, had discovered the same thing. And I'm like, damn. Like, okay. So it was kind of a validation, right? That I was kind of going in the right direction. So then I discovered the hero's journey and this and that. There's a lot of interesting stuff. If you guys are interested, you can totally check that out. There's a lot of books. I think they are also converting the entire library of stuff that Joseph Campbell's written. They're converting that into ebooks and stuff. So, and I think on YouTube, if you just search, you'll find a bunch of his videos. Oh man, so much interesting. Okay, so 501s. So I like it. Most times when you have decks like this, you often don't see the suit symbols coming into play, but I think that's the best part about this deck, is that they haven't ignored that aspect. I mean, there's pros and cons for everything, but I like it. I like it when there is some sort of... Okay, sorry about that interruption. Today, I guess it's one of the days which you can say day in the life of, right? Literally everything that can happen is happening. So, 6 of Wands. I like it. As if you remember the perspective card, and I think they've done this in quite a few cards where they've used the the reflection thing. I mean, you can make out this deck has a lot of digital manipulation in the imagery going on, but if you remember the Hanged Man card, they've done something similar. Let me go back to where it is. Here you go. Right now, of course, the women are these are kind of looking towards each other. Here they're looking away from each other. There's a lot you can play around with in terms of symbolism. If you really get into that imagery, there's a lot you can make up. The story. If you want to talk story. Oh look, is that a sword? How interesting. I like the 7 of Wands. It's very interesting. Like, she's got this pet tiger waiting with her, and they're gonna go hunt or something together. Again, the same reflection thing. The 8 of Wands. And like the pillars from the transformation card, maybe. It's interesting. Look. Like a window to the stars and doorway to the stars. Again, a lot of references to sacred geometry. So if you're into that sort of thing, this deck is totally what you want to buy. Ooh, look again, see? This is my pet peeve with many decks, the cards that stick together. But I do believe that once you start shuffling them or using them regularly in readings, that sort of they stop doing that. But I think he's quite handsome. What about you? Do you guys think he's handsome? Let me know in the comments. I mean, I totally go for King of Wands kind of guys, with Valentine's Day around the corner. I normally don't think about these things, but this year I have resolved to start dating again. I know. And, like the Two of Swords says, I gotta choose for myself. Oh wait, does she have a moon tattoo on her back? There on the shoulder there. Ooh. Cool. But I've decided not to go on to the dating site until Valentine's Day is gone, because I can't deal with that kind of pressure. What about you? You guys have any plans? Or you're like me, I'm totally cool with the single celebration. What are they calling it now? Galentine's? Swear people come up with such interesting names. So I don't know, I have a dentist appointment that day, so my Valentine's is gonna be super special. What about you guys? Oh god. I'm liking the Six of Swords. It's like, look, it's not sure, with all the clouds there. It's like confusing, or not necessarily confusing. It's like it's covered up. It's unknown, and she's heading towards that. She's ready for that transition, so to speak. Now, this Seven of Swords is so totally different. Normally, there's a lot of stuff going on with the Seven of Swords, and I know many of you may know, may not know. This is one of the cards I look at when I decide to buy the deck. So I was quite, when I looked at this, I was like, I wonder what story will come up when like normally when I just look at a card, either I'm smitten by it or I'm not, but I don't have any reaction now. So that, what that means? That means that this card is going to open up to me when I do a reading with it. That's what happens. Does that happen to you? Does that happen to you as well? Like when you look at a card, either you love it or you don't, but sometimes you just draw a blank, especially when you're looking at a new deck, and then you shuffle the deck and you do a reading with it, and then boom, that card opens up for you. Does that happen to you? I like this Nine of Swords. It's not as menacing. It's more like, what nightmares will I send to you? That's the feeling I'm getting. So the imagery is definitely not your standard, like if you're coming from a Rider-Waite world, Rider-Waite-Smith world, this imagery is definitely not the standard. Many of the cards will not follow that pattern. So I would say this deck may not necessarily be what a beginner would pick up. Ooh, I love this Knight of Swords. Check it out. It's like, the universe is forming, and maybe I should dip my toe into this or not. Check it out. I love this imagery. This was also one of the cards that said, it's like, you gotta buy this. Like this theme for this particular deck, it's very intense. It's like, I don't know, maybe the deck creator had other intentions, but for me, this is what this deck is all about. These are beings that live on worlds that they create, or like they live on worlds, or they're surrounded by worlds, like they inhabit space itself or something. And they can, it's like they inhabit a dimension where, space is just space, and they can just move through worlds like that. That's the kind of feeling I get with this deck. Like, see, now this is Ace of Cups, but there's crystals here in that cup. And in many of the swords cards, you might see crystals here and there. So I what I like is that the elements aren't just, they don't say, okay, this is it. The elements are everywhere. All the elements are in various cards. Now, again, this is one of the cards that was like, buy this deck. See, normally in a Two of Cups you would see a girl and a boy, but here it's just this woman, and she's like floating in her own sort of world or water, There are two cups, there's that rainbow and all that stuff, but I think she's like, there's no need for girl meets boy. There's just girl meets, her own inner self. I like that. Maybe this card can be your how do you say it, the motive for Valentine's Day. If you like me or single and you want to do Valentine's your way, this card can be your motive for the day. Man, this is amazing. Three of Cups. Okay, hang on. Okay, so I decided to kind of just move my camera down, every time I'm just picking up the card and holding it up. This is an intense Five of Cups. What I like is the shape of these, like the cave. If you look at it from some angle, it looks like a woman's face, like she's sitting veiled, or this is her hair falling. Okay, that's just me being a little bit too creative maybe, but I like it. Six of Cups. This card, and there's another one. Wait, hang on. 7. See all the crystals. See. 8 of Cups. Okay. I know. Hang on. Back in the day, there was a band called Savage Garden, and there was a song they sang, and in one of those songs was a line which said, "Stars and planets taking shape, a stolen kiss has come too late," or something like that, something along those lines. And the first time I saw this card, I remembered those lines from that song. Because, and it's like 8 of Cups, stolen kiss has come too late. Stuff you remember sometimes. Do you guys also remember some songs or something like something just comes in your head when you look at it, like an image of the card, and that completely explains it for some redonkulous reason, that just explains the card to you. This deck, actually, every card has been brilliant. I know for a fact that even after this month is gone, I will be really immersing myself into this deck, because it's been speaking to me in ways that so many decks haven't spoken. Like, so many cards have just come up and told me things, It's just very, very intense. I know for a fact that I will be spending more time with this deck even after this month is done, which is a good thing, right? And finally, crystals. Now here's the thing. I know this is 2 of Crystals, and this is supposed to be like the sun, because, if you look at this sun card, where is it? Hang on for a second. Oh, come on. Yeah, here's the sun card, right? Like, this is supposed to be the sun. But then you also look at, I just noticed the star card has a similar motive. So, I know this is 2 of Crystals, and maybe these are the 2 crystals, but then this can be a little confusing, right? Or just because this has the design around it, it's not supposed to be confusing like this. I don't know. Ah, yes. This too has been one of the cards that said, "Buy me." This is you. Just I was like, I was smitten. This is a totally different take compared to your Rider-Waite-Smith imagery, but hey, nice, right? I'm so sorry. Excuse me. Guys, it is the flu season out there, all right? And just be careful. Wear a mask. If you're like me, you're coughing or you have a fever, you're going out, wear a mask so you can maybe help other people not get the infection that you have. And boy, wash your hands. Be careful. Drink filter water. I really like this guy. I don't know. And the King of Crystals. Yep. And especially for this particular review, I pulled out a spread cloth. This actually is a different kind of a spread cloth. Let me show you. Hang on. Because it has all these stars and stuff on it. But this is something I got from Etsy. Oh, it's the other way around. Hang on. It's a Lenormand cloth where let me see if I can raise. I don't know if you can see it. This is in the Lenormand we do a reading called the Grand Tableau, and which involves all the 36 cards. And so those who do read the Grand Tableau often read with the houses and stuff. So this is a card where all the names this is a cloth where all the names, I think it's painted or embroidered, so it makes it easy. If you read houses, then makes it easy. It's from an Etsy shop. If you guys are into it, I'll link the shop in the description, where it's so cool. I like the background, so if you want to just turn it around and use it for your reading, you can do that. And since it was very much in keeping with the theme of the deck today, I said, let me use it. So there you go. This is my very hopefully quick sort of review and flip through of the very, very amazing Starchild Tarot. And yes, this deck is currently available from Daniel's website. Guys, just go and get it. Thank me later. Just go and get it. All right, because if the past is anything to go by, this deck is probably going to be sold out pretty soon, and then you'll be like me, pining over the deck and waiting for the day when there's another edition out. So don't be like me in that regard. Just go buy it and admire it, appreciate it, love it, fall in love with it. I'm sure you will, and enjoy. So I will be back again next week with yet another video. Okay, and in that I'll be doing spreads and stuff. So if there is any particular spread you want me to do, especially if it's all about romance, because relationship related spreads. How about that? Talk to me in the comment section, or you can email me, or you can send me a message, whatever your thing is. Let me know if there's a specific spread you want me to do. Otherwise, I'm just gonna go pick a spread of my own and do it. So if you like this video, go right ahead, press the like button so that I know that you liked it. All right. I'm sure I asked a bunch of questions in the video, so you want to talk to me about that, put it all down in the comment section below. And until the next time, stay good, be good, and play with your tarot cards. I know I'm going to. Bye now.